What's good, guys? I know it's been a good minute since I've been away, but we have another interesting show lined up for you guys today. It's a treat. It's going to be a really, really good interview. So stick and stay tuned. Let's go. What's good, guys? This is Map to Success back again with another video, and we have the one, the only Laura Taylor. Laura, say
Hey,
hi.
how you doing? That's quite an interview.
Yeah,
I mean, but quite an introduction.
yeah, it is. It is really exciting to have anybody on from any kind of foundation just to learn more about their project, what it is that they're doing, what their community is like, what the different projects or various areas that they're working in, and what they're trying to do to help push for adoption. So tell us a little bit more about your foundation, because it's pretty unique.
Well, we're not a registered foundation yet. We are. I'm part of the DigiByte Awareness Team, and so we are just a group of community members that kind of it got formed out of a marketing campaign that didn't go so well. And so the community members banded together and said, well, let's market it and raise awareness for this project and help educate people. And so that was about a year and a half ago. And since then, it's grown out to be kind of a lean, mean fighting machine because it's a global collective of DigiByte supporters that are, they're knowledgeable, they're really critical. So they're, looking for places that they can solve problems or help the project along, whether it's with, education, whether it's reaching out to businesses, helping exchanges stay up to date with code if we have any updates. Like we had the ODecrypt update for our fifth mining algorithm, and we had people on the team reaching out to exchanges to make sure that they were, ready to go with the hard fork. And so, it's just that there's a lot to do. And so we just kind of spread out all of our little talents and work in our niche areas and support each other along the way. So we're not, like I said, we're not a registered entity yet, but that, is something that we're, ultimately striving to do. But it's, we're just a volunteer network of people from everything from I'm a teacher to lawyers to bankers to businessmen to marketers. We've, developers. We've got a really wide range of skill sets working behind it.
Nice, nice. That is wonderful. That is a really wonderful story. And you might be surprised at what it is that I actually do, because it's been circulating. A lot of people has been knowing more and more about who Map to Success is, and it's been growing quite a bit over the past few months. It's been pretty amazing. But what I actually do is I go out on the daily and I try to spread awareness by means of driving, because I do like Lyft and Uber services part time, and I drive out there, and whenever I pick up an individual, I introduce cryptocurrency to them and tell them the various aspect of what it is that it solves, what it is that we're trying to do, how it's actually formed, what it is for, and how they could actually get involved with it. And the response is absolutely astronomical. There are so many people that has been like blown away by the tech. It's just amazing.
It is. It's exciting, and I think that's fantastic that you understand how power. I mean, you're kind of like that perfect kind of person to help. I mean, we're all perfect people to spread awareness, but you have probably a really wide range of clients that you drive around, and you just never know who's going to end up in your car. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It might be like the cousin of some company that, is looking into cybersecurity and you put DigiID on their radar. give it to their cousin, and blammo, somebody can, gets educated and implements DigiID. So when it comes to decentralization and everybody just kind of getting out there, getting the word out there, nothing's insignificant. I mean, it could be as simple as wearing a hat around and getting people curious. So I think, using that population of people to educate is fantastic. Do you do the seed card? That's the seed card initiative too? Are you passing out seed cards?
The seed cards, I haven't done that yet, but that is my next initiative that
Oh,
I'm
perfect.
actually gonna
Yeah.
have. I'm gonna have like a few of them in the car so I could pass them out to individuals. But really quick story is, it's really interesting you said that they have like, or we have like so much of a wide clientele base as far as like picking up people going into different areas and getting the chance to educate a lot of folks on what it is that blockchain technology is all about. Because I actually had the opportunity to school this judge the other day in the back seat. He was just like amazed. I was like telling him everything that was going on. He heard about Bitcoin and what Bitcoin is, but he never heard about DigiByte or DigiID or anything about that kind of cybersecurity nature. It was really like a full-fledged conversation for nonstop, like about 40 minutes at least. It was amazing. And he has like some serious connections. Like he has family members that has built algorithms for the stock market, for the government, and for the banks that actually stop them from being hacked. And after I shared what it is that we do in form of like not only just on the currency side, but that they have a whole significant other being on the digital part of cybersecurity, he was blown away. And the simple fact that I told him, I said, look, I might look like a simple person, I might look like a driver, but get me in front of the guy that is in charge of a TransUnion, of Equifax, of an Experian, and we could help them never have another security breach again as long as they live.
Yeah. I mean, when you start framing the conversation, I know, I think looking at cryptocurrency is like a lot of people just made a lot of hype about the investment. I think it kind of it turns some people, the early adopters off because they're just, just trying to get rich quick. And when they realize that there's a deeper conversation here about the utility of the blockchain, and I think the fact that you don't have to purchase DigiByte in order to be able to implement DigiID. The fact that we have those standalone apps now, and we have the WordPress plugin, and we have the developers and the community to support integration, it's going to be a matter of time before the right person talks to the right person. And so I think your story is a perfect example of that. So, we just keep trudging along until we get the right people to talk to the right people.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true because it's been so many different projects that's in existence right now. It's really hard to keep track of all of them and to stay on top of all the news. But I think I do a pretty good job of like trying to stay on top of like the most recent ones and the ones that actually make sense. As far as the Libra network goes and what they're trying to do and other classes that they have out there like the XRP army with them and their whole movement and what it is that they're trying to do. It's really amazing. But even funny, I spoke about Libra. They're actually trying to like expand in so many different areas, and a lot of people are actually rejecting it. And I just seen like the CEO of Nexo, you might have heard of them, the guys that do the crypto backed loans and all of that stuff. And they had their CEO went on CNBC the other day, and he was like stating why Libra could actually be something promising if done right. And a lot of people are like, if done right, there is no way to do that right because it's just 100% centralized. Like nobody, like not people that are in our shoes are going to be interested in using something like that. While the public might be drawn to it, we on the other hand, from the decentralization point, they're going to look at it like, no way, no, no.
Well, because those of us who have been in this space and working realize like we don't. Kind of the whole paradigm shift is we don't need the old structures to take us. We can actually build new structures, that are based on self sovereignty and trust. And I think when I heard about the Libra project, before I even did any digging into it, I thought I was getting punked because I was like, are we seriously talking about giving a company that has proven to disrespect our privacy, our data, um, our rights? They've proven it, that now we're going to empower them with blockchain technology that is arguably much more powerful than the internet. It was stunning to me. But then again, some people are like, I love my Facebook account, I'll do Libra. And that's fine. You do you. That would probably will be a project that I won't participate in. I would definitely think no.
Yeah, I would have to pass on that too, definitely, because as we know, privacy is very important, and I think it should be a given right. Like we should actually choose who and who shouldn't use our identity or our information, because it's been sold on a on the day-to-day markets on the daily for so much money, and we have no say or take no part in it. Like we should actually get a piece of that pie, and we should actually get paid to share our identities, or or kind of or other ways of information about ourselves
Oh
in
yeah, absolutely. The fact that we're not being asked, and I know that they're like, well, we have it in the agreement, and those agreements, you need a law degree to decipher them. They're 10 pages long, and you can't participate if you don't agree. Um, so people don't read the agreements. So it's just, I don't know. It's just not for me. I mean, I can understand why other people might like it. It's just not for me. But I do think that these open decentralized projects are now starting to interconnect and work more together. And I think that it was, that's what it's going to take for us to go to that next level of development, of awareness, of adoption, is to take these projects that have been working kind of individually, and really get these people who have survived this last 2 years in the bear market and just taken a beating. What you've gotten left with, majority of people that I'm working with, I would say, are people who really want to bring humanity forward with this technology. And so they're not here for a quick buck. They're here to actually see it grow. And so they realize they're going to have to start, collaborating more and pool our resources, because individually, because of this down market, everybody's down on resources, and so we have to work together. And I see that kind of collaboration just exploding out now. It's absolutely so exciting to see. We have two guys on the awareness team that started an exchange called Change Angel. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's a swap exchange.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
I'm pretty good friends with Ben.
yeah, okay, so good. So these guys are on the awareness team, and that's kind of, it was born out of them being in the community as a volunteer member of trying to get things done and trying to work with other projects and just expand the ecosystem, and saw the walls that DigiByte was hitting, saw the walls that other people were hitting, and decided to create a utility in the exchange to unite all these open source non-ICO projects. And it's just been an amazing thing to watch, and it's growing so fast. And so I think it's going to take projects like that, where projects of collaboration, to give alternatives to projects like Libra. Again, if somebody else wants to participate with that, I'm not going to tell them they can't. I'm not even going to tell them they shouldn't. But
Yeah.
it's not. I'm not going to.
Okay, yeah, that totally makes sense because at the end of the day, it's all about choices. The
Exactly.
choices you make will really determine your future based on what it is you look at from an investment standpoint. And I really think that Libra is definitely like, something that is totally against being, against your free will. It's almost like what they're trying to do in China with the whole facial recognition and turn off this amount of accounts where you can't get credit, you can't ride the bus, you have a social score. And
Yeah,
i
the social
really
score.
think i really think it's leading up towards that nature if they give this project their headway to do whatever they so choose. It will go very wrong really fast.
Well, and I think that, for those of us that are in the space that are knowledgeable, or are within a connected group, and that's the thing that's so powerful about working on a team is individually, um, individually we're only have so much power, but when we start working in a collective group of a team and with these different areas of expertise, then we become an entirely different entity that can work, that can push it forward. And I think as these entities really start collaborating more and connecting more in real life, we need to start bringing in our politicians, and we need to start bringing in our local governments into these meetups and talking to them about this technology so that um, if things like Libra do move forward, we have an educated population on Capitol Hill and in the White House that can, help us responsibly move this technology forward. And I think the education of our politicians it's a travesty that so many of them aren't even curious about this to the level where they need to participate to learn, to reduce their learning curve, and to work with the people in the industry now to help them make better decisions and to help them, if there's going to be legislation, that it's done thoughtfully, because this is powerful technology, and we want to make sure that we bring it forward in the right way.
Yeah, yeah, and that's true. Because at the end of the day, it's all about diversification and, try in, like in different areas to try to, to spread awareness and just to let people know of all the different resources out there that you could take advantage of. Because I'm a big fan of the big trio, as you probably might know, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and DigiByte. And basically, I'm a big part of even the Litecoin East Coast team. Shouts out to John Kim, and it's a lot more other people there. Like I Make Lemonade, which I'm pretty sure is one of your very good friends.
Yeah, she and I, we both live in Pittsburgh, and we host a meetup here together. So
Yeah.
we're set. She's my sister from another mister.
Oh yeah. Well, she's my auntie,
See,
and she
it's
she could tell you.
a small world. It's a small crypto world.
Yeah, we joke around with that all the time. I definitely have to get her on the show too, so we
Oh
can
yeah,
pass and hang
she's
out.
like she's amazing. I mean, the kind of stuff that she can, and she's so smart. I mean, she's just really, really smart. So I'm really lucky to get a chance to work with her here.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. It's definitely a very very big movement, and especially with John Moore. I'm pretty sure you probably heard about John
yeah,
Moore. He
actually, I met John at a conference in DC a couple weeks ago, and the AVAT conference that he was on the panel there, and we hung out, and he's just again like these are really smart people that have good hearts that they see the flaws in the system, they see how those flaws are going to affect the futures for our children and grandchildren, and they're working their tails off to try to educate so we can try and fix some of these flaws. And so I always get excited when I get to meet people in real life and hear their stories. And John is one of those people that definitely didn't disappoint. I mean, he's so, so smart. And he's actually coming to our meetup on the 21st of November to teach our, local businesses about point of sale systems and how to accept cryptocurrency. So and he's doing that for free. And that's another thing. Like we even offered to pay for his hotel room, and he was like, "No, that's okay. I'll pay for it myself, and I'll use Litecoin to do it." Like I love him so much. So
Nice.
we have people like that who have that extreme, they have a specialty area in this space, and they can share that knowledge, and they're doing it for free. I just, we really, gratitude is also free. So I can give as much gratitude as I can
Yeah,
possibly muster.
yeah. Gratitude
So,
is
but we,
always welcome.
yeah. So, I mean, have gratitude for these people who go to meetups, go to conferences and speak, because most of them, those grassroots efforts, they're not getting paid to do it. They're just getting paid. I mean, they're not getting paid. They're just doing it because they want to reduce the learning curve for other people. And so that's a pretty big gift to
Yeah.
us, to all of us.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It really is. It really is. And it's like it's so amazing how we could be like on a total different side of the fence, never actually met each other or spoke face to face, and we both know the same people. And it's like, even with like Bitcoin Ben and like
Yeah, I
Litecoin
know
Lisa,
Bitcoin man.
we like I was at their meetup that they had in I think it was in Philadelphia, somewhere in I forgot what that place is called. King of Prussia. They were at King of Prussia and they had like a huge meetup over there. It was so much fun. I had to meet like I got a chance to meet a lot of influencers, like you know, John Kim. I got a chance to meet Bitcoin Ben. I got a chance to meet Litecoin Lisa, Amina. It was so many of them. It was so much fun, and trust me, it's like hanging out around those guys in one building is like it's like a playground. It's like a big playground.
Well, and I think you make a good point. And what I do for the awareness team is, predominantly we all wear, a lot of different hats, but I'm an outreach officer. So my position with the team is to focus on starting meetups, helping people start meetups, reaching out to community members, reaching out to other communities to see where we can collaborate. And so, I think that you make a really good point. Like, you saw how excited you were when you talked about going into a room and you see all these people who are also as excited about this technology and this movement as you are. And the power of getting those people together physically is, I mean, really can't be understated. So that's why, Rebecca and I started the meetup. I had a meetup in Wilmington that a friend of mine, Val from the Pillar Project, she and I ran that in Wilmington for 2 years. We've organized forums. You get some local people who know some stuff and just say, hey, we're going to have a forum. Come ask your questions. I mean, just to create physical spaces to, like moths to a flame, get a space where people can come and gather. And it's really simple to do. And you can start building your own physical communities that support reducing the learning curve for the people in your physical communities, because they're these newcomers that will come in next. That's what they're going to need. They're not going to do it over Telegram. They need to look in someone's eyes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And they even had like all of these payment point of sale systems, like you were saying with John Moore and what it is that they do. They have like this app that's called Speedin that
Mm-hmm.
you could use Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I think they're actually integrated a couple more coins into it, and they're still building on it because it's kind of like an invite only thing for now until they really perfected it to build it out to the public. And what it is that they do is you pay for goods and services and you just scan a simple QR code. They don't know what you're paying with, but you deep down know that you're paying with Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some other coins, that it's so seamless that even John Kim has, I think his young teenager paid like, for a movie date with the both of them. And he was like, just looking at it, the sheer understanding that his kid had just using it, it's basically, they understand that it's real money. It's not just fake internet dollar that just float around and people are like, okay, it's a get quick scheme,
Yeah.
get rich quick scheme. You're in your
Well,
pajamas.
I think you make a really good point there. I teach college, and so I talk to a lot of that age group, that millennial age group, and for them, it's not a jump. They use Venmo. They're already using digital money. Most of them don't carry around cash. Credit cards are a hassle, and so they like using digital money. They all have their phones. They have since they were 10 years old. So it's a natural extension of what they already use. And I think that as this age group is starting to pay attention, looking at student loan debt and looking at the job market and all of that combined, they're going to need a new set of tools. This centralized system has not, it really hasn't served any of us 99 percenters well, but it really hasn't served them. And they know it. And so beyond just the natural progression of their digital currencies that they already are using it in some form or fashion, um, I think the idea of decentralization and self-sovereignty is definitely going to be something that ignites their interest. Um, and they're kind of primed to go. So, I mean, I try to talk to as many of that age group as I can. And when I taught, when I was teaching in North Carolina and I taught calculus, one of my Calc 2 students did his senior project on DigiByte. And he had to present that senior project to his mom, his dad, his teachers, the panel. And, he said that they went over time by like 30 minutes because they had so many questions and they were so excited. And
Nice.
so we need these young people because they are going to be the ones, like I explain email to my dad and my grandmother, they're going to explain blockchain to their parents. And so I
Yeah.
think when you see a young person, plant the seeds. And that's what I love about the seed card initiative, because it's
Yeah.
just literally planting knowledge seeds around and they're curious already. They're strapped
Mhm.
already. That they're looking at the the future with intrepidation already. They're looking for solutions, and you just got to put it in front of their face and let them go for it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And one of the more incredible things with that too is the fact that you could just have a foundation or a platform to build upon. Because, of course, having the seed cards, they're going to have more other individuals that come up with other ways of building on top of the seed cards to make it even better. And I knew I actually told you that I had something big that I was working on, but
Yeah.
I'm going to share it with you. I've actually working on this project where it's it's somewhat similar to something that you might have heard because I heard they're building a Digibyte University or a Digi University somewhere.
Yeah. DigiByte Unlimited, they're working on a Digiversity. It's a website that's, it's kind of, I'm excited for it. It's being built by educators, so I know it's going to be good. And it's, Aman's part of it, he's got the most critical eye of anybody I've ever seen. So I know it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Um, so, um, but yeah, so that it's an education platform and exactly what we need.
Yeah, yeah. And what I'm actually working on trying to get built is I'm supposed to reach out to them too, because we're supposed to get this website put together. Of course, I'm trying to make it a part of the Digiversity, and it is like a website that they have out there already that's a working product. It's called 10daysofbitcoin.com. And what I do is I share with all the individuals that I have on the rides and whoever that I go out in the public and meet and talk to them about what the space is and what it has to offer. I tell them that, look, go on this site, input your email address for 10 days. It basically sends you a little small article. And what it does, it teaches you every single step of the way what Bitcoin is, how it was formed, what it's used for, and how you could actually invest in the space and just learn how to hodl. And what I've actually had was, they had this for Bitcoin. Why not implement something similar to Digibyte, into a Litecoin? and
Mm-hmm.
to all the other projects out there that people find so fascinating and what they follow on a daily basis. And I just thought about that being something really groundbreaking that people could actually use on a day-to-day life. And what we could do is incorporate them some way into the seed cards, that you scan the seed cards, it takes you
Takes you
directly
on
to
your
the,
journey.
yeah, it takes you
It's a
directly to the
one-way ticket
website.
to a rabbit hole.
Yeah,
See you later. I
yeah,
hope
and
you
yeah,
enjoyed cooking because you'll stop now.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. And what it does is it will just lead you right to the website. The only thing you would have to do is just import your email address in there, and it would just send you the information bit by bit. And at the
I
end, like at the end of it, like what I really think is like what I would love to do is at the end of that course is have a certificate. Like you're a DigiByte graduate. Like you learn what the blockchain is, how it works, and you could literally go out and teach other
Here
individuals.
you go. Instead of a certificate, maybe you could issue a digi asset.
That's even better. You know, mind blown.
Yeah, digi assets blows my mind every day. I'm
Yeah.
excited. It's a huge tool. We're trying to figure out, the how to use it the best ways, but we're finding those use cases every day. And it's getting there. So I'm excited about that. We've got, that's going to be a fun thing, but I would love to see that incorporated in any kind of education could,
Yeah.
because that's the nice thing is you can have that as an asset, that certificate as an asset. And maybe one day, those assets, they have some sort of, they have a value attached to it. We have a value added system that we're building here in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. And
Yeah.
so it'll be really interesting to see how that plays out in the long run of the learning that we're doing now. How does that get evaluated or valued a year or two from now?
Yeah. Who knows?
So, and I tweeted out the other day, I said, anybody who's, you're doing exactly what I was talking about. Anybody who's explaining this technology to somebody else, you don't have to be a developer, but to explain the general idea around, to plant those seeds, to, hold someone's hand and take them for a little walk through the rabbit hole. Every time you do that, if your ultimate goal is to eventually be some sort of educator or some sort of, I hate the word influencer, but some sort of advocate for this technology, every discussion that you have is a resume builder. I'm sure that you've gotten way better at explaining this than it was the first time you tried. I know I have.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Without without a doubt. Without a
So
doubt.
every conversation you have is makes you a better teacher.
Yeah.
Because that's when real learning takes place, is when you have to explain a concept. It's not when you take the concept in. It's not even when you use the concept. It's when you have to explain the concept or the operation to somebody else that your brain actually starts to really integrate that knowledge. So every conversation you have is really only helping yourself.
Yeah,
Does that
exactly.
make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. And even thinking a little bit deeper, going down this whole rabbit hole that that we have in the journey every day, we could very well see that that Digibyte certificate, being incorporated in somewhere of using it to get a job in the future.
Absolutely.
It could be used as a credential. So, creating that in itself could actually open the door for a lot of individuals that want to, have a career in the blockchain industry down the road. And then they're like, well, what kind of experience do you have? You whip out your asset on your phone. You're like, okay, I did Digiversity and I have this certificate and it's valid. You can't be hacked.
I know, isn't that just, it's just so smart. It's just so smart. But I just laughed when you said you're going to whip out your asset. Because, I have the humor of
Yeah.
a 15-year-old boy. You can ask my team members.
I mean, hey, that's what it's going to be in the future, I think.
No, I
Just
think
trying
you're right. I
to.
think that we will. I think I'm sorry. I'm so unprofessional. But that I'm going to have to use
Yeah.
that at some point. Don't make me whip out my asset. Um,
Oh boy.
So,
You're gonna have people make memes about this pretty soon.
oh, I've already made some bad ones. I
Oh
mean, you can't have a
boy.
word like asset and expect me not to have some fun with it.
Yeah.
So, so no, I think that it's going to be exciting to see how that progresses. And for me, and a lot of people ask me like, well, why Digibyte? You know, I'm not a maximalist, even though I might sound like I am. I'm actually not a maximalist, but I think that I had a choice to support many projects and kind of do it, you know, shallowly support many projects, or really pick a project and deeply dedicate myself to it. And so with DigiByte, I would say, you know, I I've been working with the team, like I said, for about a year and a half. But the thing I love about this community is I didn't get just to know other people who are on Twitter that like to market. Like this community is so open. I'm able to have conversations directly with the developers. I'm able to watch them have their conversations in the developers channel or the miners in their miners channel. And so you get to know the people involved with the project at that technical level. And that's what I'm like, these people I like that, you know, they're here for the same reasons I'm here. They're really smart, they're very
Yeah.
dedicated,
Yeah.
which and I so then I was like, okay, so I'm going to take my skill set, which is education, and apparently Twitter, well, I'm actually terrible at Twitter. Everybody has to go and retag all the people I forget to tag. I'm really bad at Twitter.
Oh boy.
But so like I'm the developers can't, you know, like Matthew, who built the DigiID standalone app, he's busy developing. Like he doesn't even follow me on Twitter. He doesn't go on Twitter. So that's not his job to let people know DigiID is out there. He builds it, he
Yeah.
lets us know what he built, and then we market it. And so we all have a very important role in the machine.
Nice.
And also all the developers, you know, they're working on projects, and as those roll out, as updates happen, then they, you know, connect with us and say, okay, this is coming, and then we get together with the community and we do a marketing and education push. And so it's a very coordinated um, it's a very coordinated effort between developers and technology, and then just like the early adopters and, you know, non-technical people. And we're teaching them how to communicate better, and they're teaching us the technology. And so we're kind of lifting each other up throughout the process. So I do think that DigiByte has, you know, because I see it at that level, because I'm so ingrained in the project itself, um, that's what makes me so bullish on the future,
Yeah.
because I know who are the people who are behind the project, and they're brilliant and they are inspiring and they're honest, and so I think it's going to be a big deal.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Because when I share all the stories that I've had, like with other people, and I tell them, like, look, I personally know, like the developers and people that mail, like, like actually they make all the projects tick. They're the ones that are behind the scenes doing all the coding and making sure that everything is fine tweaked the right way, and they make sure that it's not just a product that they're just dishing out to anybody. It's quality work that they put hours and hours into to make sure that we actually find something that is truly secure and something that we could use on a day-to-day basis and not have to worry about anything like a bank. You know what I mean? Because
Well, absolutely. And the other thing that they do is they ask us to help them. They ask us to beta test for them. They ask, you know, test this out. I'm trying this. I mean, we are actually participating in the evolution like we've never been able to do before, because we're decentralized, because we're open source. It's a different kind of ability to interact. It's a different kind of ability to affect, because you are participating in this. So if you see something and you're like, oh, it would be better if maybe you had a drop down menu for this so it would be a little bit easier to read, then they can build that. And so it takes all these people interacting and talking about the problems and being able to ask the questions like, well, why does it do this? And that person has to explain it to you. There's that interchange of knowledge, and then you know, both get better for that. So I think, you know, being able to work with these developers directly, and support them directly, that's the real opportunity here. We're so early. You get access to the brains of the technology,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's exciting
yeah. It
because
is.
like
It is.
because
It is.
this is a powerful technology, and frankly, I wouldn't be very comfortable with it if I didn't know the developers that were working on it. Do
Oh
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, for sure,
Because
for sure.
technology isn't good or bad. It's the programmers.
Yep,
The
yep.
technology is just ones and
That's true.
zeros. It's just
That's
yes,
true.
just no statements. So it's up to the the integrity and the motivation of the people who are actually building it. And that's why I think having this on the radar of students, of young developers that are, the world hasn't jaded them. They're, they want to change the world, and they are, I miss being 25 and being fearless. Well, I'm pretty fearless now, but I mean, I just thought, there was no limit, right? And so
Yeah,
let these kids, plug into this, and let them build some stuff too. Like, so it's just a matter of getting that
yeah.
rolling.
You know, it's so cool. I'll give you a quick laugh. Um, it's a lot of things where, I would encounter on the roads when I go out sometimes. And one of them is actually getting people to guess my age. And I've
Are
literally
you
gotten,
25?
look, I'll take it. I've gotten somebody told me that I look like a 17-year-old the other day. I was like, what? I will
Well,
definitely.
you might as well take it. What moisturizer? Well, that's why I like the Zoom. You said you want to do Zoom or Skype, and I was like, I like Zoom because it has a fix my face feature. It's like I, I'm 52 years old. Zoop, I'm 45 years old.
Wow.
I like the fix my face feature.
Oh boy.
So, but yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited for the future. Excited for the collaboration, and I think we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. And quickly before we wrap up, because I know we could go on forever, but I'm working on a set of merch that a lot of people are going to be excited about. And as soon as it comes out, I'll be sure to take your address down and send you a pair just so you can rock your favorite merch, and you have something to incorporate, like more of what so you stand by on a day-to-day basis, which is DigiByte. You basically, I like the hat anyways. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna be making a couple of those too, like further down the road, but it's coming. It's definitely coming. It's in the works right now, and it's actually being designed by myself and another member of the DigiByte Awareness Team by the name of Demi DGB.
Oh, I love Demi. Oh yeah, she's awesome. She's our newest member that we added to core. She's brilliant,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
she's
She
a smart
is.
girl.
She is. She's actually swung by some really, really, really nice designs. And I was basically like looking through a couple of them, and I'm like, wow, this is really good stuff. Like I could use that. I could use that. You see, and then she's like, okay, what if I did this and flip this little aspect into it, and then make this part look transparent? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm all about being transparent.
Well, and that's the a lot like that's the cool thing. It's like a big playground. Everybody can just collaborate and build what they want to build. And Yeah, it's like there's no limit to what we can, and Demi's what I think she's in the Netherlands, so here you are, you're working with someone. Like, when would you ever have the opportunity to collaborate with someone in the Netherlands? So I mean, at the base level, what DigiByte is doing, it's connecting people from all over the world who would probably never would have had a conversation. Do you
Yeah,
know what I mean? So
exactly.
I find that totally exciting every day, every
Exactly.
day.
Exactly. That
So
is that is going to be groundbreaking. Like whenever these merchandise get released, I am probably going to have a Shopify store with it, and I'm going to try to create in some form of fashion to redonate a portion of my sales back to the Digibyte Foundation and a part to the Litecoin Foundation, just to basically give back to what it is that the amazing individuals from, all the various different teams that I support and what I stand by, what I stand by, like basically just doing their day to day, you know, uh, part of just adoption in itself. And it's been nothing short of amazing. It's only getting better and better from here.
Oh yeah, I definitely think we're not losing any steam, and if we can make it through what we made it through, I think that we're in pretty good shape. So I always think, we can always get knocked down, but I don't think we'll ever get knocked out.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. It definitely is. And I have like it is so many different projects that is going on that slowly but surely they're gonna be rolling out. And I have like, this group that did a song about cryptocurrencies, and I might and might not have been featured on something, so we will see what's going to happen in the future. But we will
Well, I'll keep
definitely
my
see.
eye out.
We'll definitely see what's going on. But in the short term point of it, we're definitely trying to put as much work in as possible and just trying to build awareness and adoption. And of course, having a T-shirt to go along with the hat, and people could actually see it on a daily basis and be like, what's that about? That looks pretty interesting. I've never seen that before. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Mhm.
And then it draws a lot of conversations, and that just leads to more adoption because people are trying to find out more about what you're doing, and that's where adoption starts.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Because in the aspect of you seeing something that you don't normally see every day, it's gonna draw so many. It's gonna draw like a wide spectrum of people to just start looking at it, and it's gonna gain a lot of attraction and attention at the same time. And people are gonna start asking a whole lot of questions, and that's when you know that you're actually in the right space. When you're like gradually getting a lot of attention from a lot of different areas and people are asking a lot of different questions on it, then you start looking at it like, maybe I'm actually like doing something pretty big here.
I think we're all doing something pretty big for sure. Okay, before we go, I just had a question that popped in my mind. So you're an Uber and a Lyft driver. Can you guys accept cryptocurrencies yet?
Not yet, but I can't wait for that feature.
So is that something they're working on?
I haven't heard about any form of development so as far as that goes, but if anybody out there that knows or is in are in direct correlation with them and can actually help them incorporate something like that, please do, because I will be knocking on their
Yeah.
doors.
We know some people who can help you with that if anybody's listening from
Yeah,
Uber and Lyft, because I think businesses that there's no reason really for them not to accept it at this point. They can do it, and if they have a problem with volatility or whatever, they can change it right into fiat if they want to. So there's really and there's plenty of ways to make it work.
hmm
And so I think any business that allows people the choice to participate with an alternative currency, I think that they
yeah,
respect their constituents, or if they want
yeah,
to, or they respect their customers. If they want to implement DigiID into their app, they
yeah,
respect their
yeah,
customer
mhm.
security.
That would be
So,
perfect.
I think we should tag Lyft and Uber and say, hey
Yeah,
guys, you need to be checking some of this out, because we've got a team of experts that are happy to help you, and we'll do it for free. You
yeah.
can't say no to free,
Hey, that
you
that
know?
that's definitely enticing. Once there's a tag of free 99, a lot of people would start turning heads, and if, they definitely would. If it's going to help them in their revenue and help us with adoption at the same time, it would be pretty cool. And I think
It's
it'll
a
be,
no-brainer. I think
yeah,
any company that doesn't look at it, I question their business sense.
yeah, yeah, because I think like personally it wouldn't be hard to incorporate because at the point of sale where you actually cash out, you could actually have plugins like right under where it has like your
Absolutely.
your card information and who is going to and what account. And you could be like, okay, cash out in Litecoin or cash out in Bitcoin or cash out in DigiByte or, and you could just basically just choose whatever you want. If it's a portion of just your tips, or if you want the whole thing, like your whole entire paycheck to be paid out in crypto, which, I wouldn't mind being paid in Bitcoin.
That's what I mean. Like, why not give people the option? I don't understand that. So, well, maybe they will. Maybe they'll reach out to us.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. So we definitely need a lot of likes, a lot of thumbs up so we can get up in the algorithm. So, Lyft and Uber can see us and start making some wise decisions. Like,
Yeah.
they will be glad they did.
Yes, they will.
They would be
Well,
glad they
thanks
did.
again for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun. And, like I tell people all the time, the sky's the limit and we're building something amazing and it's nothing but to the moon from here. That's like
Hmm.
100% moon boy talk. But
Well,
but
I was, we're holding the future in our hands, literally.
yeah, yeah.
So,
We'll be
you know.
whipping out the assets pretty soon.
Oh my God, thank you for working that in one more time. That's gonna make my whole it's gonna make my whole Sunday.
Oh boy, I was so excited to have you on the show. It has definitely been fun. The Huddle Gear merch, and it is going to be called MTS Huddle Gear, and
Okay.
it's gonna have a lot of different incorporations of different foundations and coins into it.
Well, I'll keep my eye out, man.
Yeah,
I'm following you on Twitter, so
yeah, yeah, definitely. It's gonna be big. It's definitely gonna be big. Once it actually
awesome.
starts blowing up, it's gonna spread like wildfire. Because I'm definitely gonna have the Digibyte Foundation behind it, and you included to help, promote the merch and it's for a good cause anyway. So why not? You know what I mean? Why
Right,
not?
yeah,
Yeah, definitely,
exactly.
definitely. So as always, I say, it's Map to Success. It's a pleasure to have Laura on the show. Just keep doing the amazing work that you're doing, and we'll speak again really, really soon.
Sounds good. Thanks again.
All right, all right. And keep hodling, and we're going to the moon definitely. And as Map to Success always say, X marks the spot. We're out. Peace.